Hey everybody, welcome to this Saturday edition of Bookward Bound, the ongoing journey that I'm taking from maybe I should do this to actually getting a book done by January 1st, 2021. There's a long story involved in why I'm doing that, and I've told it a couple of different times before during these live streams, but let's just suffice it to say that I've decided to do 301 consecutive live streams, one every day for 301 days, in order to get a book that I've had in my head for 10 years out onto the page and into publishing ready PDF files that I can then upload to Kindle Direct Publishing on January 1st, 2021, in order to have an actually published book that I can take with me to Social Media Marketing World 2021 in San Diego. There's a long story, as I said, about why I decided to attempt this incredible feat. But let's just say I'm doing it. And so tonight, I'm going to continue to work forward or move my book forward by working on it in one form or another. In fact, tonight, I'm going to be looking at continuing my mind map / outline, because I'm one of those guys who is not a slave to an outline, but I love to know what the basic skeletal shape of my book is going to be. It really helps me think ahead, not rewrite or overwrite, and it allows me to kind of paint the major checkpoints or gates along the way to the end of the book. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. You see before you my favorite outlining app. It's called iThoughts. It's actually a mind mapping app. And why do I love it? Well, because it can do stuff like this. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's gone. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's gone. Literally, I can open it up if I want to think about that section, or I can close it up because I want to work on another one. And I can do that to the whole dang deal. So this is one part. Oh, let's get rid of that. And that allows me to look at my book from a very high strategic level. Two major buckets, the theory and the practice of nonfiction branding. And I'm going to work on the theory section, which I think is going to be perhaps its own book. The practice section or bucket might be a workbook. We'll see, but for now, I'm separating them because I really want to focus on making sure that everyone understands what I'm talking about when I'm talking about nonfiction branding and how it relates to personal branding and small business branding. So you can see I've got a number of sections that are roughly laid out in the order in which I think they'll probably show up in the book. But I just thought of one, or a major aggregational section that I want to put in here. I think I'm going to call it Your Brand, the Foundation. And your brand could be a small business brand. It could be a personal brand. Frankly, I think there's the same damn thing. Unless you have a big business and you're the CEO but not the founder, then maybe we should talk about something else. But if you're the founder of the business and still work in the business, it's your personal brand. And it should be based on who you are, what you do, and how you do it. Well, so to do that, I wanted to kind of group this stuff by saying, what are the things that are the foundation of your brand? Something like that. Personal brand, value. Actually, I think I might. You can always hit Command Z to undo. I think I'm going to undo it, but maybe move this up here. Oops. I want to keep it a top level section or chapter. Your non. That's what I want to do. Your non-fiction brand. The foundation. I think this could probably go under there. Branding. That's more about branding in general, so I'm going to put it up here. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, I'm going to go Command Z. Your key 3, that's part of your foundation. Values. So what are the things that are truly the foundation? Your key 3 is foundational to your brand. Mirror My Biz, what's the difference? It's kind of talking about that. That may go into a different section. I'm not sure if I love it there yet or not. Your brandle is definitely part of your foundation. You living color. So this would be about the graphic, your graphic representation / packaging. IRL in real life, it'd be logo, color, palette. Do I need to dress like a circus clown in order to visually define my brand? I think you know my answer to that. No, you don't. However, consistency is a wonderful thing. So, you in living color. That's kind of a top level idea for even this section. Flagship, question mark. Your flagship is the social media channel that is your number one. You can do as many social media channels as you want, but you should have number one. You should have one that is your true number one, the one you do the best. And actually, that's where fewer better would go in association with that. I don't know if that's a sub to this. It just might be. Examples. I don't need a period if it's not a full sentence. What's your flagship? Okay, it looks like I got a what's your theme going on in this section. Maybe I should play that up. Oh, one of the things in writing is if you find yourself repeating something a little bit, it looks like a mistake. But if you do it a lot, it's an artistic choice. I suggest you make an artistic choice. There's an old story, I think from I don't know, maybe Thelonious Monk or something like that, a piano player, a really great jazz piano player, who said, if you find yourself making a mistake while playing, do it again, because then it's not a mistake, it's a choice. Yeah. So if I'm going to do what's your, and even what's the difference, I don't know if I want to be slavish to that what's your construction. What's your look? What's your brand look like? I could do. How about that? Let's put it in there for now. So this section is all going to 14 point. Yeah, all right. It's going to be about the building block, cornerstones, keystones, whatever you want to call it, whatever building metaphor or analogy you care to use. That's what this section is going to be about. It's going to be about the things that help define you. Like, actually, I need to tell this story, the story of these frames. And I think I've got that someplace. But I think I need to talk about, have a Equinox EQ 305. I think I'm going to have to look that up, but you see these frames right here, these glasses frames. Now that I wear glasses and have for, I don't know, 17 years, I'm not a big one for going all green-haired and red-framed glasses and stuff like that, but I think there is real positive to a consistent presentation of a brand look. Like, I'm violating it right now by wearing a plaid shirt, but frankly, it's a Saturday and I don't give a rip. However, I am being brand aligned with what I look like by having these glasses and this little salt and peppery beard that's actually getting to be a little bit more salty, just like me. Why? Because that's actually my look. And if I wanted to go further, I don't know if I can do this in Ecamm Live. Can I, Ken and Glenn? Can I make my feeds across the board black and white? Because if I did, then I would be adhering to my brand graphic look. So let me show you what I mean. Hold on. Graphically, whenever I do, where is it? Yeah, you can see I got a bunch of different files in here. Yeah, there you go. That look and feel is my brand look for, and this is actually the cover art for my podcast, which comes out every Monday, Nonfiction Brand with D.B. Knudten. So very serious choices were made. Number one, it has to stand out in a podcast app like Overcast. I'll show you my list of podcasts that I listen to right here. Do you see those little, come on, camera, focus. You see those little thumbnails? Oh, it wants to, good Sony cam. It's trying to focus on my face. See those little things right there? Those little cover art things that represent the podcast. The best ones are legible as a, I don't know, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, tiny, tiny little thing. So I wanted to make mine very recognizable from the get-go. And again, if you look at that list, come on, there you go. You can see color helps. As a matter of fact, why isn't mine showing up? You bastard. What happened to you? All right, it's showing up right there. So it looks really good and dynamic, and I don't know why it's not showing up there. In a list, so you've got some that are yellow, some that are blue, some that are red. Some have the photos of the people doing it, some don't. Well, in my case, I wanted to have a photo of me doing it, even though when I do an audiogram, I will gray everything out and have someone else's quote on there promoting them. I do want to get credit for this, so I'm not going to be shy about it. For years, I was the shy retiring type, waiting for someone to give me credit for what I do. And I realized one day, people don't give credit. Very few people give credit. And especially online, social media, very few people really give credit. But it's a fantastic way to take credit for what you do, who you are, and how you do the things you do. So that's what I'm doing right here with this graphic. You can see big, bold type. That I love the fact, and this is one of those, for me, things. The type, the name of the type itself is called Impact, which is exactly what I want my brand to have, is impact. I think it looks really black and white, powerful, which is what I want too, because I view branding as a black and white proposition. Either you're on brand or you're off brand, and branding should be totally true and authentic to who you are, what you do, and how you do it, and versus fake, applied, trend following. Look at me, I'm aping what everyone else is doing. That's not a brand. That's a trend follower, or what I like to call a trend lemming. I don't want to be a trend lemming. I'm really far from being a trend lemming. But I do want to be totally myself. And so that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm writing this book about. But anyway, these glasses, the frame company is called Equinox, and the frame number is EQ305, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to double check that and look it up. But I like these frames so much. It's one of those things when you find a pair of frames that fits your face and does what you want it to do, you better buy more than one pair of it, because they go out of style, they go out of stock, whatever. Well, these frames went out of stock for a period of time, and I was like, dang it. But then I started searching the good old Google. And what happens? I find let's see if I can find it right now. I use Safari as my browser because I'm totally an Apple guy. I'll type in Equinox. EQ305, maybe. Well, let's see. They might be 304. They're, I'm going to say they're 304. There they are. Now, I found these, you can get them now for $55, but I found a resource where they were like $5 a piece because these were out of stock, and some safety glasses, as a matter of fact, let's look that up. I found the safety glasses resource. There you go. iBuy Direct has them. iDoc Shop. I think I found them for like $5 a pair. And so what did I do? I bought 5 pairs of these. And actually, I want to see what the price on these is. Save up to 40%. No, $45. I don't think so. And they do come in blue, by the way. Funky blue. Funky, look at me. I'm a brand blue. Yeah. I don't play that. I'm just like homie. Homie don't play that. I don't play that. But anyway, I was affected enough, or my affectation is strong enough to say that I like the way this looks. The other thing is, you'll notice behind me, that wall is kind of a rich maroon. Why? Well, take a look down in the lower corner of this screen and you'll see, oh, the shield in the logo for Nonfiction Brand Versity is that burgundy or maroon. It's actually maroon. So, and if you look over here behind me, I've got kind of a slate gray. Those are all part of my brand's color palette. In fact, my brand color palette is kind of echoed in this shirt. Black, deep red, white, slate gray, and that's about it. Well, my highlight color when I do keynotes or presentations is a sky blue, which plays off the burgundy nicely, or the maroon nicely. But anyway, should I be branding myself visually? Yeah, it helps people. Okay, how many of you have met someone, had a great conversation, you remember exactly what they were wearing when you met them, their hair color, their hair cut, glasses, styles, all that stuff. And then later on, a year later, you see them again, and you're doing that. You look familiar. And they go, yeah, we met last year. We had this great conversation. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. You had different hair color, right? It happens to me with women all the time when they change their hair color. It's like, sorry, you changed your hair color. You just got rid of the biggest thing that I use to remember who you are. And if you really change your haircut, I'm really in trouble. But guys do it too. All of a sudden, they've decided not to wear glasses or things like that. So these can be great brand identifiers. And, so consequently, if you wear glasses, you have the opportunity to brand yourself visually. Does this mean I have to wear black all the time or slate gray all the time? Well, I don't know. Do I? This is a T-shirt that I designed as it says, "Keep the social in social media." See, no, whoop. Keep the social in social media. Nonfiction Brand Versity. Those are available on Amazon because I made them, and anyway, you can buy them for $20 a piece. I get $3 in change from every purchase, so go out, knock yourself out. But do I have to be a slave to this color palette? Yeah, no, but a little bit, yes. I mean, it's really, really helpful because in branding, we would often refer to it as your brand's livery, meaning back in the day, your servants, like the Dowager Countess, would always have their servants in livery, meaning a certain looking way that represented their household and their dukedom or their earldom or whatever. Well, you're doing the same thing, You're planting your flag and saying, this is who I am, this is what I look like. A great example is a guy named Baer, who I'm actually going to write about in this book. Jay is a really interesting presenter, a smart guy, author of multiple books. His current one is called Talk Triggers. I recommend it. And his shtick, his thing is he always wears these incredibly colorful plaid suits. They're always plaid. They aren't obnoxious plaid. And they aren't always the same color, but they're always plaid. let me see if I can show you a picture of that as well. And actually, I'm going to go to images. Okay, this is actually a great example. Make sure that you guys can see it. Okay, so what do you notice? Baer, first picture. Baer in a plaid suit. Baer in a plaid suit. Baer in a plaid suit. Same color as this one. Probably the same photo session. Baer in a plaid suit. Different plaid suit. Different plaid suit. Different plaid suit. Etc. Etc. So he will actually on Instagram, if he knows or if he's giving a speech any given day, he'll go on Instagram and hold on, I want to get rid of this. And ask his Instagram followers what color suit he should wear that day. And he'll, provide 4 options or something. And he actually gets people to chime in with their favorites, Do you have to go that far? I don't know, but it works for him. And I think it's pretty cool. And here's the thing. If you go to something like Social Media Marketing World where there are 5,000 people in the hall at the same time, and you happen to walk by him and Baer wears plaid suits, if you see a plaid suit, the first thing you're going to go is, oh, that must be Baer. And then you're going to walk across to see if it is. And then likely you're going to start up a conversation with him. So, yeah, a plaid suit can be an invitation to engagement. Question for you. Is what you're wearing today trying to camouflage you or invite conversation and engagement? I would suggest that, especially if you're trying to build your personal brand, having a look that people learn to recognize and then expect becomes a tremendous way to create opportunities to engage. And I'm going to be writing about that. Maybe I should just transcribe what I just said and cut and paste it into the book. Yeah, maybe. Actually, I need to write that Baer. That's my example. My Baer section. Baer plaid suits. So guess what? I've captured this idea. I'm not going to write it tonight, but now I know I am going to write about it. So when I sit down to actually write a section and I'm going, what do I write about tonight? I'll look at my mind map and go, Baer plaid suits. Oh, that'd be fun to write. And all of a sudden I'm going from, I got to write something tonight to, oh, that'd be fun to write. I know exactly what I want to say. Do you see how mind mapping and outlining works? It takes some of the load off your shoulders when you're writing a book, because you start by not writing a book. You're just writing an outline. And if, for heaven's sake, you're trying to have this book published by a traditional publisher, you wouldn't even write the book until you pitch the outline or a treatise on what the book's going to be about. And if you're a big enough name, you can walk in and, like if you're Stephen King, you can walk in and say, Undead Dog, Micmac Indian Tribe opens a portal to the undead. Yep, here's a $5 million advance, Stephen King, says the publisher, because he has enough credibility and gave enough flesh on the bones of that zombie novel to make the publisher go, oh yeah, this will sell. Boom. All right, so you know what? That's all I'm going to do for tonight. Because again, if I feel like I have to write 5,000 words a day, I'll never get this book done, because I'll stop working on it at all. I don't have 5,000 words in me today, so I'm just not going to do anything. That's not the case with me. I did a little bit more on my mind map here. I've come up with some really good ideas on how I want to talk about Baer in this book that actually supports my idea of this book. I was going to use him as an example of a good personal brand. Well, I am, but not in the way I thought I was going to do it. I'm going to use him as a great example of a visual packaging of a personal brand. And this will give me the opportunity to contact Mr. Baer and say, hey, Jay, you don't know me, but I'm going to write about you. Or better yet, I've written about you for a section of my book. Here's the section I'm talking about. I would dearly love to have the opportunity to feature a couple of photos of you in different plaid suits. So I have a question for you. May I? If the answer is yes, could you get me high-resolution versions of those suit photos for inclusion in the book? And then later on, if he's really excited about it, I'll say, you know what? Would you take a look at the book when it's done? Because I would really love to hear what you have to say about it. And if you were so inclined and would like to provide me with a blurb, that's how you get people to blurb your book, which is the subject of a later Bookward Bound. So that's it for me tonight on a fine Saturday, March 21st, 2020. In the midst of our deep coronavirus hunker down, I continue to move my book forward, even though it might only be 2 inches. Hey, it's 2 inches more than were around yesterday, right? So that's it for me. I'm DP Knudten of the Nonfiction Brand podcast, which comes out every Monday. Episode 83 is coming out this Monday. And also the Nonfiction Brandversity Facebook group, which I would love to invite you to join. Just search Nonfiction Brandversity on Facebook. Answer 3 questions when you ask to join to prove you're not a bot and you're in. And you'll meet a community of people just like you who are looking to build their personal and small business brands with a really authentic foundation based on who they are, what they do, and how they do it. So if you're like that, come join us and get in the conversation, hop in the pool, and let's have a party. I'll talk to you guys next time. So take us on out. Nonfiction Brandversity theme song. All right. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.